Now, with 8 million Americans still without power following Hurricane Sandy, the president began his day at a briefing in Washington with emergency workers. Barack Obama is now heading for the neighboring state of Iowa, but he stopped off here in this critical swing state of Ohio. He's been here 20 times this year alone, and that sort of tells you something about the electoral importance of this state. Mr. Romney, too, is here and moving on to Iowa and Colorado. So with just 3 days to go, how close is the race? An average of all the polls shows the election on a knife edge, with Obama leading Romney by just 0.1%. But the latest major poll taken after Hurricane Sandy shows Obama gaining strength. In Ohio, he is on 51%, with Romney 6 points behind. A win for the Democrats here would put them tantalizingly close to the number of votes they need to win the presidency. In Florida, Obama is leading Romney by a much smaller margin of just 2%. The Republicans must win here to stand any chance of defeating the current president. So looking at those numbers, does President Obama now have a spring in his step? Well, it certainly looked that way as he addressed supporters here a short while ago, seeking to reclaim the mantle of change from Mitt Romney. They queued in cold and rain, doubling back on each other, little knowing that the school gymnasium was far too small to hold them all, so that when President Obama finally did arrive, of 4,000 here, perhaps only 1,000 ever saw him. But what they did see was a vast contrast from the man in the Colorado debate a month ago. This was reconnection with 2008. He praised the bipartisan effort that had flowed from the hurricane and its victims.
Neighbors helping neighbors cope with tragedy. Leaders of different political parties working together to fix what's broken. I love you back, and we've got more work to do.
Vintage Obama, often missing earlier in this campaign. Well, we seem to have seen an Obama we didn't see at the beginning of the campaign. At the beginning of the campaign, it seemed almost as if he wasn't sure he really wanted the job anymore. But today, without a doubt, he's made it more than clear he wants that job and that he wants to win. And maybe he has come alive, perhaps as a result of the hurricane, just in time. He demanded recognition for the change he'd brought America, winding down her wars.
Remember, in 2008, we were in the middle of 2 wars and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. Today, our businesses have created nearly 5.5 million new jobs. The auto industry is back on top. Home values are on the rise. We're less dependent on foreign oil than any time in the last 20 years. Because of the service and the sacrifice of our brave men and women in uniform. The war in Iraq is over. The war in Afghanistan is winding down. Al-Qaeda is on the run, and Osama bin Laden is dead.
So, to the core of this final fight with his opponent, trust.
You may not agree with every decision I've made. You may, at times, have been frustrated by the pace of change, but you know what I believe. You know where I stand. You know I tell the truth. And you know I'll fight for you and your families every single day as hard as I know how. You know that.
He's thinner now. His hair is grey. Without a tie, he's almost gaunt. The polls are moving. The early voting returns are in his direction. But it remains too close for anyone to dare to call.
I think he's energized. I think there's no question about it. He's really caught some momentum here in the last week or two. I think he's really taken off.
He was great, and I'm from New Jersey. We came here because we don't have power, so I was very lucky to get my sister-in-law had tickets. I thought he was great.